What's going on, good people? It is the Bad Wolf. This will be the comprehensive guide to right to travel. This will be the last video I think we need to make, so I'm going to try to jam pack it with everything in there. So without further ado, let's get going. All right, all right, all right. What's going on, good people? It is the Bad Wolf. Thank you for joining me on YouTube or whatever platform that this video happens to get on. All right. So before we get going, understand that this is all education and entertainment. You are responsible for your own events, scenarios, situations, and ongoings. For additional information or to contact me on how to do right to travel, if this video doesn't suit your needs, feel free to go to blacksite32.com where you can get more information on the various free files, paid files, consultations, questions, all the social media platforms that I'm on, emails, and how to contact me. Make sure that you are not scammed by people out there pretending to be me. If it's not blacksite32.com, it's not me. Okay. And as always, I will never ask you guys for money in any chat room, any groups, any emails, nothing ever personal. If it's not blacksite32, it's not me, period. All right, with that being said, I'm not responsible for anybody who pretends to be me, nor for any of this information. It's all education, entertainment, informational purposes only. With that being said, let's get going. Now, I've made other videos on this. Matter of fact, I've made a 3-hour live on aspects. So we're going to hit all the cliff notes on right to travel. But if you guys ever want to see all of my longer videos going in depth with right to travel or trust or whatever else, etc. Whatever I have, look on youtube.com, go to James C Lovett or at symbol the Bad Wolf, and go into my live playlist. I have a playlist where all the lives we've done will be in there. Now we've already started doing private seminars, and I will open them up sometime soon, covering all the stuff that we've learned, how to move and right to travel, court cases, how to deal with those, how to analyze contracts, et cetera, et cetera. Those will all be coming up soon on a first come, first serve basis. Okay. Price range will be anywhere between $100 to $300, depending on which one you decide to sign up for. And those will be available on blacksite32.com. You can go to the seminar page and learn that. As well, if you're interested in anything else like passports, that can be found on blacksite32.com on the passport page. All the files, everything's on that site. Okay. Without further ado, let's get going. All right. So, right to travel is a constitutional right. All right. Now, you have to understand that the people who, and by all means, these people and groups, agencies of the state and departments of the government, they do watch these videos. So this is nothing illegal. This is nothing unlawful. This is nothing immoral or whatever else. This is just information that is very rarely known. A lot of them don't know the information because they don't sit down and actually read the law themselves. And for those officers out there who do study this information, I have done this process for a number of different cops on how to do right to travel for themselves in their private vehicles versus you cannot do it in a police cruiser or anything that's considered to be state or government owned. Can't do it because you are calling yourself a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen and a officer or a person of the public. So you cannot do this. This is only for your private side. And everybody out there has a private side. You just have not known about nor how to utilize it in your normal day-to-day life. You've all been operating as U.S. citizens or residents of the commercialized state. Okay. So the state of Florida, the state of California, the state of Wisconsin, the state of Illinois, all are operating as a for-profit corporation. When you register anything to the state or the government, it then becomes a piece of their jurisdiction, under their jurisdiction, as a piece of their property. The word register means to abandon. So you're abandoning some of your rights. You are no longer considered private. All of us are considered private when we were born. Here's where it gets complicated. So when your name was given to you by your parents and it wasn't registered to any state or anything else, it was considered a given name. The moment that you got the birth certificate issued from the state, they then took that name, transmuted it into all uppercase lettering, which then is called a legal person. In some cases, a legal entity, depending, but that legal person is represented by the all capitalized format. And this is in the Styles Manual. Okay. These are in their Styles Manual. It's also depicted in Black Law's Dictionary, which is a law dictionary. Okay, that's where all this comes from. In Black Law's Dictionary, it's known in Latin as Capitis Dimutio Maxima. In the U.C.C book, which it's also located, which is also for doing commercial transactions, it's represented under the definition section, U.C.C 1-201, and it's under conspicuous format. All right. Let's see, where is it? Let's take a look. All right. All right. Bear with me one moment as we get to the section here. All right. UCC 1-201. It's under section 10 or number 10. Conspicuous, derived from the former section UCC 1-201 section or letter or number 10. All right. It says terms that ought to be noticed by a reasonable person against which the term is to operate. In other words, what they're saying, if you read the whole article here, that any word or name that is different than normal, and normal means in all lowercase lettering, which is capitis minimus. So that is natural format. That means it's private. That which is commercial owned or a non-living entity is represented by all uppercase lettering. Capitis dimutio maxima. Okay? It means you're leaving the Constitution for the United States of America and your private rights to enter into the state's corporate jurisdiction. So in other words, what they've done is they turned you into a business or an employee of their state, a member of theirs. Now remember, the public is so big, okay, but what it really is a PMA, a private members association. All right. So the private members association is so big, it's called the public. They administer jurisdiction and control over the public or anything commercial, anything that's theirs. That's why when all of us, police officers included, and everybody else who watches this, at some point in time, you wanted a driver's license or a bank account, and they asked you to prove residency by going home and getting that mail with your name in all capitalized letters from a utility, or whatever else. That made you a member of the public. That's what it is. So then you went ahead and got your car and whatever else, and you use that same name in all capitalized letters. Use the same birth certificate in all capitalized letters to then get your bills and credit cards and whatever else. You became a member of the public. You did your taxes and you swore on there under penalty of perjury that I am a U.S. citizen. Okay. Now, there's a difference between the state level and the federal level as far as it comes to jurisdiction. We're going to leave federal level alone for right now because most of us don't use any of that in the first place unless you have a passport or other certain things that you can get from them. So now we're going to talk about right to travel in itself. Okay. You had to have that so you can understand what I'm about to tell you next. Right to travel is optional. You do not have to do right to travel. It's kind of like when they mention constitutional carry or anything like that. Okay. What they're basically saying is that under the Constitution, you have certain inalienable rights that the states and nobody can take away. Right to travel is one of them. Constitutional carrying of an arm is also right to bear arms. freedom of religion. All those things are guaranteed by and protected by the Constitution. All right. So